Decoding Luxe is an answer. It is an answer that luxury cannot only be constrained to price tags. Luxury is more holistic. My book Decoding Luxe takes a psychological, historical, sociological, economic, and a literary view of what constitutes luxury, of a life that is just beyond price tags and dazzle. This effort of almost 4 years is being well received with my readers, and that's the greatest gift that an author can have. I wish more and more readers set sail in this discovery of luxury and not be constrained with price tags and affordability. Make Lux a way of life.
This is going to be truly a remarkable evening. Right now we are sitting in one of the most premier malls of Kolkata, the epitome of luxury.
The only exposure to luxury is Mahul's book. Just a couple of days ago, I happened to be traveling with Mahul, and as is my habit, I was trying to needle him, and I said, "Okay, Mahul, what is that watch that you are wearing?" So he said, "It's a Rolex." So, can it? So anyway, I probably I sent some. So I said, okay, so can it, does it show better time, than my mobile? So he was taken aback. He was a little taken aback, but he very quickly composed himself, took off his watch, and handed over to me, and said, sorry, that was not the scene, but he gave the watch to me and said, would you just feel this watch? Look at its craftsmanship. Look at the detailing. Look at the design. And that's where, I realize, and that's my concept of luxury is, and Mr. Sarkar did mention about it, is in terms of excellence, perfection, obsession for quality, detail, and as long as people value excellence, people value perfection, I have got no problem with pursuit of luxury, because I feel that luxury is not about just having pleasure or greed. It is about valuing something which is good, which is excellent, and which is focused or brings about perfection.
Well, what people perhaps don't know is that the first Senate in the world, that's the Roman Senate, actually had heated arguments about Indian luxuries. They said that India is bleeding the Roman Empire. It's bleeding the Roman Empire. Now, you see, the concept of luxury, as Mahul has put it somewhere, is relative. Now, we have all along this need for excellence, and excellence at a price. If you look at India, we don't have one single luxury brand in the world. Not one.
But I have identified myself as an experientialist, because when I did fly home to the United States, I splurged, and for me, luxury is flying business class on Etihad Airlines, okay? So I think just like anywhere else in the world, there are people in the US that can afford luxury, that aspire to luxury, and then those people that do aspire to luxury might be of the 4 different classes that Mahul so articulately described in his book.
The primary reason why I like Mahul's book, the main reason is that I think he's hit the iron when it's hot. I was just going through an economic intelligence report by the European Union last week where they talked about luxury, and interestingly they said that India's luxury market was actually rising by $255 million every year, and thanks to the middle class in India, it's worth $18.5 billion. And that's an increase of almost 25%, driven by the fact that 70% of India's rich is actually people who are below 40 years of age. So I think that, the interesting thing is this, that luxury, or actually possessing luxury, is actually luxury no more.
What my friend Conte said. One bit of information, he's written the foreword for the book, so he's one of the most early guinea pigs for the first draft of the book. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's an aspect on what he was saying. The reason counterfeit market, or rather the first copy market, which is a better quality counterfeit, and are expensive. Like the first copy market gets you very expensive watches and every other luxury is because you aspire these logos, you aspire these brands, and either you can't afford it or you don't see value for money in it, because you have to go from one party to another party to another party. And if you're carrying the same Louis Vuitton bag in all the three parties, it won't be luxurious anymore. It's commonplace. So therefore you need the counterfeit even when the affordability factor is not there. So you would need logos, one logo in one party, another logo in another party, another logo in another party. So that's basically the reason for rise of the counterfeit market, the demand for it. Over to you, Sam.
Yeah, Mahul, but there's this chapter that I read about the Rolex watch, and there's some very smart people. You might carry a fake, Rolex watch or a Louis Vuitton bag, but tell me, people who are sharp can make out. You might carry the logo, but there's always that one telltale sign, and I think you're one of the sharp people. And coming back to the counterfeit market, I once, I keep getting these forwards, WhatsApp, okay? This Michael Kors bag for so much. I was like, huh? How can you get a Michael Kors bag for 3,500? I was getting these forwards. I said, no, I would rather carry, coming from my socialist background, I would rather carry a chola than carry a fake bag. And I would carry a decent bag, okay, if I can't afford a Michael Kors, but I'll surely not be caught carrying a fake bag.
Mahul, you talk about the democratization of luxury, and you say it, and you write about this very, very nicely in your book. I identify with it, and I can tell you that in a certain manner, while luxury is aspirational, it's also inclusive. So the luxury of inclusion rather than the luxury of exclusion is something that that the Indian middle class is waking up to more and more.
A few months ago, this was actually on March 21st, I lost a very important person in my life. He was a school teacher, very proud of his students, much more proud than of his own son. He was a firm believer in simplicity and loathed anything that even had any sign of luxury. So everything that was luxury was not his thing. But that same person I've seen used to spend 1 hour of his day winding his clocks. And that 1 hour, he was at peace with the world. Otherwise he was extremely introvert, angry young man always. But at that 1 hour, he was extremely, as if it was like meditation to him. And he was very patient with those clocks. Even if they, after winding, even if they refused to start, he still was very patient. And I was extremely envious because I never got that bit. So when I saw my father doing that every day, throughout his life. Perhaps I developed, even without my understanding, an appreciation for something that may look ordinary, but it isn't. So to my father, that 1 hour time that he used to spend with his clocks was a luxury. A luxury of escape, but a luxury no less. The entire endeavor of my writing this book is to make luxury come to you and for you to open your mind to look at luxury from a very fresh perspective beyond price tags. I'm very grateful to this great panel, Johorda, John, Boss, Conte, Ornob, Saira, and dear readers, all of you, for being so kind to come, take your time. Please read the book. It has taken me 4 years to finish the book. There was a time when I had actually lost all hope of getting it out. For a first-time author, it doesn't really matter that you're a journalist and you've had so many bylines. For a first-time author, it's a first-time author, and it's a rites of passage. So from one publisher to another, to another, to another, and finally, it's a dream to see this book here, in flesh and blood. And God has been extremely kind. I've had great support from my fiancée Sabia, who's done the cover for the book, Indranil, who's taken the photograph here, smiling me, and thank you all of you, sir, and you're extremely kind, extremely generous to read my book and to take the pains to come here and support me in this endeavor. Thank you, sir.